Have you ever stopped to think about your air conditioner as like a soldier? Probably not, right? But down in Miami, one of America's most extreme climates, that everyday appliance you've got is fighting a nonstop, invisible war, all just to keep you comfortable. So what exactly is this battle that's raging right inside our homes? Let's get into it.
So, why a war? I mean, that sounds a little dramatic, doesn't it? Well, it's because in a place like Miami, the environment isn't just hot, it's actively hostile. It's like a constant siege on the very machine that's supposed to give you relief. And your AC? It's right there on the front lines 24/7.
Okay, so to really understand this fight, we've got to get to know the attacker. And in this story, the attacker is Miami's climate itself. And trust me, it comes well armed. The assault is coming from all sides. First up, you've got the obvious weapon, extreme heat. We're talking 95 degrees and up. Then there's that suffocating humidity, which forces the system to work way, way harder, pulling gallons of water out of the air. And as if that's not enough, you've got this corrosive salt air blowing in from the ocean, literally eating away at the metal. And to top it all off, violent power surges from all those thunderstorms can just fry the sensitive electronics. It's a total multi-front attack. And get this isn't just a summer fling. In Miami, that AC is running for about 9 months out of the year. 9 months. There's practically no off-season, no time for the system to get a break. It's just a relentless marathon of stress, year in and year out. One of the climate's sneakiest weapons is completely invisible. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but the salt in the air is constantly coating your outdoor unit. And what does it do? It just accelerates rust and corrosion on all those delicate copper lines and condenser coils. It's basically making the whole machine get old way before its time. All right, so you've got this powerful attacker. What's standing in its way? Well, it's your home's #1 defender, the HVAC system. Now, it's super easy to think of your AC as just a box that blows cold air, right? But honestly, it's doing so much more than that. It's managing your home's air quality, it's controlling moisture to stop mold from growing, and it's even protecting the actual structure of your house from all that humidity. It's not just an appliance, it's literally your home's respiratory system. But here's the thing, not all defenders are created equal. The key stat, the thing you really need to know, is the SEER rating. Just think of it like miles per gallon for your car. The higher the SEER number, the more cooling power you get for every single dollar you spend on electricity. And that is absolutely crucial when your system is running pretty much nonstop. Let's really put this whole battle into perspective. A typical AC unit somewhere else in the US, it gets long breaks in the fall and spring. It deals with just normal, standard wear and tear. But a Miami AC? Man, it's in a completely different league of hardship. We're talking near constant operation, chemical attacks from salt, and electrical hits from power surges. The stress levels, they're not even on the same planet.
So, what happens when the defense starts to crumble under all this pressure? Well, a lot of the time, the system failures are surprisingly predictable, and they almost always start with something ridiculously simple.
And believe me, things can go from bad to worse, fast. It often starts with something as simple as a dirty air filter. A $5 part. You forget to change it, and suddenly airflow is restricted. That makes the indoor coil freeze up into a block of ice. Now that ice blocks the airflow even more, which puts a massive strain on the compressor, the heart of the whole system, until it just overheats and dies. And just like that, one tiny little oversight snowballs into the single most expensive repair you can possibly have.
And that's not the only way things can go wrong. Remember those weapons? Well, that salt air corrodes the copper lines until they start leaking refrigerant. The high humidity, it's the perfect breeding ground for algae in the drain lines, which leads to nasty clogs. And those power surges we talked about? Bam, they can kill a compressor or just scramble your thermostat's brain in a split second.
And seriously, don't underestimate something like a clogged drain line. Your AC is pulling gallons and gallons of water out of the air every single day. If that drain line gets blocked, where do you think all that water goes? That's right, into your ceiling, down your walls, and all over your floors. Suddenly, a small HVAC problem has turned into a massive, expensive home repair nightmare.
Okay, I know this all sounds pretty dire, but there's good news. You can absolutely fight back, and you can win. But it takes a professional playbook, one that's designed specifically for the unique challenges of a climate like Miami's.
Just to give you an idea of how serious this is, in Miami-Dade County, the building codes are no joke. You can't just set an outdoor AC unit on the ground. Nope, it has to be strapped down to a concrete pad that's engineered to withstand 175 mile per hour winds. Yeah, hurricane force winds. That's the level of professional prep we're talking about here. But fighting back doesn't have to be some chaotic mess. The professional process is actually really straightforward. First, you schedule the service. Then you get a real diagnosis of the root cause, along with a clear estimate. Only then does the repair happen, and it's always followed by testing to make absolutely sure your system is ready for battle. And in a high-stakes situation like this, you have to have advice you can trust. The right recommendation should be all about your needs, what's best for your home and your budget, not about a commission-based paycheck for the tech. That honesty, it's a critical part of the playbook. So how do we move from just playing defense to actually winning this comfort war? Well, it all comes down to being proactive and making some smart, strategic choices. Let's look at the financial side of this fight for a second. When you invest in a better Defender, meaning a unit with a higher SEER rating, it actually pays you back every single month. Just upgrading from a basic older unit to a new, high-efficiency one can save you up to $80 on your monthly power bill. The right equipment is literally an investment that pays for itself. But really, the single most important tactic for winning this war is proactive maintenance. Seriously. In a place like Miami, one checkup a year just isn't going to cut it. You really need service twice a year. That's how you keep components clean, check for wear and tear, and catch those tiny problems before they turn into those catastrophic, expensive failures. Look, at the end of the day, every home is facing its own kind of climate battle. Maybe it's not the intense heat and salt of Miami, maybe it's extreme cold or dust or something else, but the principle is exactly the same. Your system is working hard to protect you. So the real question is, have you given it the support it needs to actually win?